Okay, so the first band I'm gonna be talking about is the Smashing Pumpkins. I only have one album of theirs on CD, Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. It's a double album, and it is so good. I don't know how a single person can think of this. Well, it was a band, but it was a lot of it was Billy Corgan, the man himself. Um, Honestly, the first disc, no skips. Second disc, there's barely any, really. It's so incredibly good. My two favorite songs on it are probably Cupid D-Lock and XYU. XYU is just so incredibly vicious with its guitar and the drums. It the feedback, like the little, you know, and then Cupid Deluxe, um, honestly is such. I think, as I saw someone say, in the comment section of the song, on YouTube, the Cupid Deluxe is kind of like really the representation of like the audio representation of the cover, and I think that's like 100% true. And I love the artwork they put with this. I forgot what the artist's name was, but it's just a super like antique, like they just gives you this like, look at that, like it gives you like the feeling that you're in like an antique store, and these are like old photo. It's just such a great vibe. And what I love about this CD is that it came with a lyric book with a picture for each one, which I think is really cool. But yeah, Smashing Pumpkins. I am still looking for Siamese Dream that has like one of my favorite songs ever created on it, which was Today. That and Mayonnaise are they're just so good, especially like the guitar and like yeah. So that's Smashing Pumpkins. They're just so good. They're such a talented group of musicians: Billy Corgan, Jimmy Chamberlin, James Iha, and Darcy, the bassist. When people like that come together, they make amazing things. Yeah, and a band that really kind of gives me some nostalgia to when I first discovered them was Pink Floyd, which I remember at one point stating that they were the greatest band. My water spilled. They were the greatest band to have ever lived. I said that. I stated that. Yeah, Pink Floyd. I have easily like the most albums of theirs, or like if they're like my most owned artist. So we have Wish You Were Here, The Wall. I saw the movie of this, loved it. Perfect representation of the lyrics. Metal, very underrated. Apparently this is supposed to be an ear, but it will always be like a sand, like a desert to me. The Division Bell. This was after Roger left the band. Roger. Dark Side of the Moon, classic. And Animals, prog rock classic, especially Dogs. Who doesn't love dogs? But yeah, I mean, I think this album, I consider it to be one of the greatest albums ever recorded in the history of not just rock music, but any type of music, to be honest. It's also kind of cool because it folds out to be like this massive, like it's almost like a mini. It's like a mini vinyl record. You pull it out like this. It's kind of cool. But I mean, this is perfection. I mean, well, not perfection. I mean, it does have its flaws, obviously. I mean, some of these songs could have been left out, but I mean, it's just such a great album. It's an amazing concept album, and Waiting for the Worms is one of the most underrated tracks ever. the bow, down, bow, that part. That's why I played guitar. That really, I think I think that's the thing that made me want to play guitar. So that right there, and of course the rest of these albums are so incredible. I mean, The Dark Side of the Moon, iconic. I mean, that's one of the most best-selling albums of all time. You know, Wish You Were Here, Sid, with you know, them talking about Sid Barrett. I mean, it's just all of it. It's just so good, and I think Pink Floyd really to this day just kind of remain timeless. Also, the second solo to Comfortably Numb is one of the most mind-blowing things ever recorded, and it's also the reason why I hit 100 and 200 subscribers, I'm pretty sure, because I made a video about it that was kind of like a meme called Pinky Discovers Pink Floyd, and I used the second solo of that song on it, and it got like hundreds of thousands of views. So that's kind of crazy. But yeah, moving on, talking about things that blew up, we gotta mention Nirvana. Never mind. I do have two more of their albums, but this one, this is the most iconic. The reason why I'm missing the booklet to this one is because I actually took the booklet out and I mailed it with a letter and a picture to Chris Novoselic, who was the bassist for Nirvana. He played with Kurt and Dave. He played bass in all these songs, and I told him how much I loved his work, and I asked him for an autograph. As you can see, I still have not received it back to this day, but I sent it like 5 days ago, so it's gonna take a little bit to get to where he is. But I'm super excited, you know, if I hear back from him and get his autograph, that would be cool. Incesticide, this is actually such an underrated compilation album. Dive, Son of a Gun. I actually like this version of Polly, New Wave, better than the one on the original, the one on Nevermind. It's like a faster pace, more electric, but it's so good. I love it. I love the New Wave Polly. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, this is pretty much a no skip. Other than Hairspray Queen. We don't talk about that one. And then, Nevermind. I remember, oh my gosh, I love this album so much. I mean, there's so many great songs on here. Lounge Act, Chris, his bass, that's why I wrote to him. And also on Stay Away, his bass is really good on that, as it is on all their songs. But this one, I remember I was at like a record store, or not really a record store, yeah, it's like a music video type store. And I was there, and I was about to walk out with like, because they had a deal. It was like buy 3 get 1 free. Yeah, buy 3 get 1 free, or like buy 4. But no, buy 4 get 1 free. And I had 4 albums. I had 5 albums, and I had one that I was gonna get for free. And I was walking around to make sure there was nothing else I was gonna get. And I didn't realize they had a clearance section for the CDs. So I went over there, found this. Heart dropped, heart attack, cardiac arrest, stroke, aneurysm, boom. I almost passed out in the store, not really, but like I was so excited because I was looking for that album. And I just see this sticking out of the top, like the top shelf. And I got it, and I technically, since it was to buy 4 get 1 free, and like the free one is like the cheapest one, and this was in the clearance, I actually got this for free. So y'all. Doesn't get better than that. So yeah, Nirvana, awesome. I want to find Bleach on CD so bad because that has some of the best Nirvana songs on there. Blue, Swap Meet, School. I mean, so many great riffs, so much good guitar stuff. And I play guitar. If you know my channel, you would know this by now. And I know so much, not really, but I know a lot of some Bleach riffs like that's School. Blue. I mean, honestly, and Chad Channing on drums on Bleach, so good, so good. A lot of people forget about that guy, but he, so good, such a great drummer. And speaking of great drummers, how dare I? Led Zeppelin. I've listened to both of these albums at least 5 times. So I have their debut album, Classic, and I have Mothership. If you don't know Mothership, it's a double album. It's in a kind of a weird CD case. It is falling apart, but it's like their greatest hits, and it has literally everything on it. I know it's backward, but like, look at that. I got that. At the same place I got the Nirvana CDs, and I mean, John Bonham, come on. Easily, him and Neil Peart from Rush, which I'll probably talk about next, are just some of the greatest drummers that have ever lived. They are the heart, they are really the heart of the bands they played in. But yeah, Mothership, I remember listening to this, and I remember hearing, which one was it? Nobody's Fault But Mine, that was the one. I heard that for the first time when I was listening to this. Immediate playlist ad, so I hadn't heard it before, because it was on, I think it's on Presence, the album, and the only Led Zeppelin albums I'd listened to were 1 through 4 and Physical Graffiti, so I hadn't heard that one yet, but I was so glad I listened to this and picked this up. But yeah, I mean, what's there not to love about Led Zeppelin? I mean, they really paved the way. I mean, Jimmy Page, I mean, he's just, yeah. And this next one's a bit of an obscure, not obscure, but like, kind of like different. Joy Division. Guys, if you do not know Joy Division, you have to. This one I very rarely get my CDs from Amazon, but this is an exception, because I could not find this anywhere. Not even a studio album. Joy Division is like, they're so hard to find. Okay, I don't know where the disc is. Okay, I fell asleep to this last night. That's why. Okay, my bad. Yeah, I mean, Disorder. When I first heard that, I had heard about Joy Division. I don't know how, but I just checked out like the first song that popped up when I looked them up, and literally every single member of this band is like a virtuoso. I mean, really, I mean, Stephen Morris is one of the most underrated drummers of all time. If you've seen the live versions of like Transmission and stuff, or She's Lost Control, he's a literal drum machine. I mean, he's like Sonic. Bernard Sumner, he's such a really underrated guitar riff god, really. He's made some really cool riffs. And Peter Hook, some of the most incredible bass lines. Really, just and Ian Curtis's melancholic, slow, deep voice. I mean, and it all comes together to make this, and it's really sad that Ian died, but then they made New Order, which, I mean, I mean, when it comes to New Order versus Joy Division, it's really kind of hard to, like, because they both sound so different. I mean, really, when you hear, like, if you hear New Order's Substance album, and then you listen to Unknown Pleasures by Joy Division. I mean, they're so different without Ian. It's actually insane, but yeah, Joy Division is so good, so good. Yeah, I think Disorder wasn't actually the first Joy Division song I heard. The first one I heard was Atmosphere, because it was in Stranger Things. And I didn't recognize it at the time because I had no idea who they were. But like 2 years later, after I watched, what was it, season 1, season 2? I think it was season 1 when they played Atmosphere. Yeah, I think it was season 1. After like 2 years after I watched that, and I discovered Joy Division, and I got into their stuff, and I heard Atmosphere, I realized, and I was rewatching Stranger Things, and I was like, that was Joy Division. And I didn't know, because when I watched Stranger Things for the first time, I was 10, and I really did not know what real music was. I thought I did. I didn't. I really didn't. But yeah, so good. I had to get their best of. They're so great. I love just these underground bands, British bands. Well, also Irish bands. My Bloody Valentine, guys. I don't have any. I'm looking. I have a CD watch list in my notes app, and Loveless is like my top priority. I want to, before it was Nevermind, Nirvana Nevermind, and I found that I got it for free. I am still to this day on a manhunt for Loveless by My Bloody Valentine, because Kevin Shields is a musical genius, in case you didn't know. And with songs like Sometimes, When You Sleep, and Only Shallow, and even Blown a Wish, when he's not on lead vocals, he's still, Loveless is just a work of art. Really, and I remember the shock on my face when I found out they weren't British. Like, literally every single other band that I like, other than Nirvana and Van Halen and Guns N' Roses, but everything else British. So actually, there's a lot of them are British, and that was my first Irish band that I discovered, and I'm so glad. When You Sleep, guys, it's one of the greatest things ever recorded, and surprisingly, I've only listened to their Loveless era type stuff. I kind of want to get into their EPs, and I'm kind of curious to hear what Isn't Anything, their first album, sounds like. I heard it's different, less shoegazy, but I'll have to listen for myself. But yeah, My Bloody Valentine, check them out. Listen to When You Sleep. Start with When You Sleep, like I did, and just fall into that loophole of shoegaze and Cocteau Twins, and those guys. I think Cocteau Twins is actually pretty extraordinarily genius, because really their songs don't have any real lyrics. They're just mumbling gibberish, and any words you hear you're making up in your head, which I think is pretty cool. I don't know who thought of that, but whoever did, they're pretty advanced. Heaven or Las Vegas, that whole album is just absolute. I mean, Cherry Colored Funk, have the title track, Ice Blink Luck, yeah, so, 50/50 Clown, the one, so great, and the shoegaze is softcore. I love Duster. I mean, I think it's getting popular on TikTok, but if you haven't heard of Duster, listen to Inside Out, and then listen to Gold Dust, and then Heading for the Door, and then Me and the Birds, and then fall into a Duster depression loophole. That's my recommendation for a sad Sunday night. Thank me later, because I'm telling you, I mean, the entire album of Stratosphere, which I think came out 1998, 99, I'll say 1999, or 1998, it's just, oh my god, it's so incredibly, like, gloomy, but gloomy in a way that it makes you happy. Like, it's just not shoegaze, because there's no, like, overwhelming guitar feedback, but, like, really, it's just that Stratosphere is such a calming album. I haven't listened to much from their other album with Me and the Birds on it. I sound so stupid right now. The one with the two buildings on it and, like, the bottom's blue. I feel so stupid right now. I'm used to Stratosphere. But it's just that they're just so great and underrated. And I highly recommend checking them out. Like, it's Duster. It's so good, and it sucks because they're really like an underground, like, not really like known band, which means if I go to a record store or like a bookstore or something that has CDs, the chances of me finding a Duster CD is pretty low because they weren't very popular, so not a lot of people have their stuff, which means not a lot of people are going to go to the store and sell their stuff that they bought. So, My Bloody Valentine, I know I don't have, but they're probably easier to find than Duster. Whatever. Anyways, the one CD I'm looking at right now is Boston. Boston, they were, rock band. More Than a Feeling, you've probably heard of some sort of movie trailer, more specifically Inside Out. And it's a great song. It's a little overplayed, but I think it perfectly captures the essence of what dad rock is. You know, the bow 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 bow, and then the vocals. That's just pure dad rock right there, and I love it. It's just so good. But my favorite song on here has to be Rock and Roll Band. It's so good. I know More Than a Feeling's the big one, but Rock and Roll Band. Rock and Roll Band is like a play, drink, yeah. I shouldn't sing, but also it took me a while to realize that the spaceships on here are actually guitars. It's kind of cool. But yeah, this is a really good album. No skips. None. And how dare I? Who do I think I am if I don't mention the Fab Four? Happy birthday, Paul, Naka, Paul, I love you. Ringo's the best, but anyways, peace and love. This was the first CD I bought on my own. Because my first CDs were actually my mom's. This was the first one I actually went out and got my own. It has their number one hits. How clever! Um, this one, and it has a lot of good stuff on it, but it doesn't have anything from Sgt. Pepper's. So I got Sgt. Pepper's, and I loved it. It's an iconic. They say it's the greatest album of all time. That's arguable, but and also I have this one. I'm still looking. So this is their greatest hits from 1967 to 1970, and it's got a lot of good stuff on it. This one has stuff from Sgt. Pepper's, but I didn't have. It has more. It has more. So it has Old Brown Shoe on it, which I didn't even know existed until I got this. And this one also, it's cool. Opens up. You can take the CD. It's like a little mini vinyl record. And I'm still looking. They call this the Blue Album. I'm still looking for the Red Album. Which is like from 1960. When did the first album come out? I'm guessing 1962, 1963, all the way up until 1966. And I'm still looking for that. And I found it, but it was in those double CD case. Like my Smashing Pumpkins CD, that was a double jewel case. I found it in that, and I would probably die, become deceased, pass away, if I didn't have them both in this little gatefold vinyl record type format. So I'm still looking for one that's in this format, and that isn't like $20. So the quest continues. But yeah, Beatles iconic. I have a Beatles poster. They're just, I mean, they're iconic. The Fab Four. I mean, who doesn't like the Beatles? At least everyone at least likes one song. At least one song, maybe two from the Beatles. Everyone, every living soul on this planet. And if not, then they're like NPCs. Go listen to, like, I don't know, music for a sushi restaurant or something. But yeah, Beatles, iconic. Yeah, great. The next band I'm looking at right now, I'm staring at them. They are scared. None other than Green Day. These guys were responsible for some of the catchiest alternative rock songs ever created. So I have American Idiot and Dookie. Walk on to paradise. Down on the ground, down on the ground, down on the ground. My personal favorite is probably She. She screams in silence. Also, this one's kind of cool because it has a colored sidebar. I call it a sidebar, even though it's part of the place where the CD is. I just call it a sidebar because it looks like a bar and it's on the side. But yeah, I have this, and I have this. These are like the two Spencer Green Day albums. I mean, if I see like 21st Century Breakdown and like for like $2, then I might get it. But like, I think these two are like the essential, like Green Day, like Green Day, like Green Day, like Green Day. So yeah, I got their two essentials. I mean, they're so great. I like Green Day. I remember like when I first got into rock music, I didn't like them because I thought every single one of their songs sounded the same, which isn't true. It is not true. If you think that, think again. Listen to this. American Idiot. I've heard that song so many times. It's to the point where Jesus of Suburbia is probably the best song on this album. But yeah, two essential Green Day albums. Highly recommend them. Yeah, great alternative rock band. The next one, right next to them, alphabetically, Grateful Dead, American Beauty. This, what was it? I don't remember. But this is another one that's like really relaxing in a way. It's like, you know, especially like songs like Ripple, Friend of the Devil, Truckin', that reduced to hashtag, and then it comes in. I mean, I love Grateful Dead. The Dead. I'm a Deadhead. My first band T-shirt, my first band shirt, was a shirt that said "The Grateful Walking Dead," like the TV show Walking Dead, Grateful Dead. Funny, yeah. Funny, haha. My mom got me that off Amazon, and at the time I didn't know what Grateful Dead was, and then later I got into them, and I was like, okay, maybe I don't mind having the word grateful next to Walking Dead, because at the time I was like, but it says grateful on it, isn't that like it? But now it looks really cool because I listened to the band. I'm still looking for Working Man's Dead, but this one has some relaxing acoustic classics. And speaking of relaxing acoustic classics, how could I not mention the Eagles? So funny story about this CD right here, CDs. So usually at the place I usually get my CDs, I always saw this in the E section, and I wanted to get it, but I never did because it was always like $13 or something crazy, and I didn't want to spend that much on this singular thing. But I always wanted to, because I mean, look how many songs are on there, all the classics. And it even opens up like this. How cool is that? And you get a cool book that's like the literal storybook. It's like, it tells you like the story about each song on here, which I think is pretty cool. So I never got it, and it like, this one was like, it was like always there, like no one ever bought it, like, which shocked me. Like everyone always went for like Take It Easy, I think was the name of that album, the one with the cactuses on it, or Desperado. They usually went for those, and they never got this one, probably because it was so expensive. Well, one day I go to that store, and this was in the clearance section for $5. $5. So of course I got it then. And I love them. I love the Eagles. They really, they have some. I think they're my fifth grade teacher. His favorite band was the Eagles. Yeah. I mean, I love their hits. You know, Take It Easy, Hotel California, Already Gone, James Dean. But thanks to this CD, I was introduced to some more, lesser known Eagles songs, which was pretty nice, in my opinion. And I think, it was worth it. So now I like Eagles more than I did if I had just listened to Hotel California on repeat, which I'm glad I didn't do.